Do you want your brain to start working for you instead of seemingly self-sabotaging you every day? Do you want your brain to actually do what you want it to do and actually for it to work efficiently? Well, one way that many great men of the past have used for their brain to be efficient and to work for them is walking. Just simply going on a long walk every single day. You could reel off the amount of names in the past, great men, famous men that you've all heard of that were obsessive walkers. People like Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens, Aristotle. He founded a whole school of thought, philosophy around the idea of just going for a walk. The peripatetic school, I think it's called, something like that, where they just go and walk and think and chat and talk while they're walking. Even Steve Jobs was notoriously known for going on long walks around the where Apple were based, where he lived, and that. People like Henry David Thoreau, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Friedrich Nietzsche. There's many men great men of the past who were notoriously obsessive walkers. They had to go out for a walk. They knew that the best thinking, the best creative thoughts that came through in their brain were when they were walking, when they were moving, when they were activating their leg muscles. There's many great men of the past who did that. So if you're struggling for motivation to exercise, like going to the gym or going for a run or whatever it is you're doing, the easiest thing you can do is just go for a walk. It doesn't have to be like strenuous, it doesn't have to be like super long, just try it, just go for a walk for 10-15 minutes, just every day, just try and go for a walk. Preferably in nature, but it doesn't really matter, just go for a walk. Because there's so many benefits to walking. It is a form of exercise, so you will get, blood will start flowing through your body, flowing to your brain. Your heart will start pumping more blood through your body. It will produce more positive brain chemicals, because your brain is literally needs movement, is designed for movement. Without movement, there is no need for a brain. Because there's been many studies done, many animals in the seas, in the oceans, for example, don't have brains. Like jellyfish, they don't have brains because they just float about, they don't move. There's even this little kind of squid sea creature. It's like a squid, I'm not entirely sure if it is a squid, but it's born with a brain, like albeit a very small brain, and it like roams around, eats food a bit for its early like nursery kind of years, and then they try and find a rock on the seabed to just attach themselves to for the rest of their lives. So they just attach themselves to a rock for the rest of their lives. And what they do is they eat their own brain. So they just attach to the rock, and then for the rest of their life they just eat their own brain because they don't need to move anymore. So they can just eat the brain. They have no use for it. So it provides them with energy. And also look at trees, for example. They don't have brains because they're just stuck in one position. We know this, science knows this, that the only reason we have a brain is because of movement. Like literally every part of the brain, like 80% of the brain, I believe, is made up of the cerebellum, I think it's called, and has like 80% of your neurons and all the stuff going on in your brain, and that is purely designed for movement. All the complex movements that you need to, your brain needs to be aware of, you need to do, picking up things, running, walking, your environment, it's all related to movement. So the more you move, the more you're giving nutrients to your brain, the bigger your brain actually becomes. Like your hippocampus, which is responsible for memory, actually grows in size just from movement or exercise. So if you're struggling mentally at the moment with your mental health, or you just don't feel as on it sharp mentally, start moving more, go for a walk. It's the simplest thing you can do, and it's enjoyable. Just go for a walk. And try and do it as often, like as every day if you can, but just get more movement in your day, walking. All the great men of the past talked about, Charles Darwin, Friedrich Nietzsche said, all great thinking is conceived through walking. He said himself he couldn't think at his best without going for a walk. Charles Darwin he built like a little walk in his garden or something, or in the back of his house, where you just go for walks hours a day, just around this big sand walk, I think it's called. And that's why he had his best thinking, not in a study in his house, but outside when he was walking. It just ignites your brain. It also, it's a meditative, because it gets you in a meditative state because it's rhythmic. So like, it doesn't take effort. You don't really have to think about walking. You just pattern walking one after the other, foot after the other, and it's very meditative. So you get yourself into a creative state. So definitely just go for a walk. You'll notice an improvement massively, and you stick to it habit wise. You'll reap the benefits.